So these last two are a little bit more challenging because now we have algebraic pieces, but as long as we understand that really these are just times and divide pieces, and fractions are all about times and divide, and as long as we get the times and divide in the right spot, so times up top, divide on bottom, we can actually deal with these fairly easily. So I'm going to do my opposite and just make sure my divide by 8 ends up on the bottom, divide by 3c ends up on top. So now this is all times and divide. Really, this is just one fraction. And I have times 2 times b times 3 times c on the top. I have times 8, so I'm just going to make that times 2 times 4 and times c on the bottom. Okay, it's all just times and divide. So we just can say, well, if there is a times 2 on top, divide 2 on top, they cancel out. Well, it makes no difference if it's a number or a variable. That still is a times by some number. Although we don't know the number, it's times by c, and that cancels with a divide by c. So when we do that, we're just left with a times 3 times b on top, divide 4 on bottom. And all I'm doing is keeping things simple. Times and divide. That's all it is. Times on top, divide on bottom. So I can do the same thing here. I'm going to show this as 9ac. That's all times. That's all divide. I'm going to put my divide by 3ab on the bottom. Okay, that's a divide by 2c, so that's going to go on top. So now it's just all times and divide in the right spots now. So I have some common factors that cancel. So 9 I'm going to express as 3 times 3. I've got a times a times c times 2 and another times c here. C times c, okay. And I've got all my times on top, all my divides. It's just going to write all my divides together. Okay, there's an a times b. Okay, and I know that the times 3 divide 3 cancel out. The times 2 divide by 2 cancel out. Okay, that all equals 1. When I end up canceling with division, I'm left with 1. And I also have a times a divide a. And again, I don't really know what times a is. I don't know what a is. And I don't know what the divide by a is. But what I do know is that a times a and a divide a undo each other, and we're just left with 1. So that's it. I have got rid of all the times and divides that are common. So I'm just going to write this as times 3 times c means I'm going to do c squared. C times c is c squared. And then on the bottom, I'm going to do times b times b. Well, that's b times b is b squared, so we'll write it like that. There's no more common factors, so there's my final answer.